Hello, this is Jack, and today I'm going to be reviewing Dune Part 2. Before I do anything, I just want to make sure that I am not actually going to spoil the entire thing. There might be some mild spoilers, so if I stumble upon any of the spoilers, just be cautious, and yeah. And after this video, I might do my Oscar predictions for this movie. It's not going to be really a spoiler once we get to that section, but for now, here's my review for Dune Part 2. So Dune Part 2 actually takes place after the first part, where basically Paul is recovering from what happened after the first movie. The House of Atreides is fallen and everybody is dead. Well, a lot of people are dead and most of his friends are dead. And he has to kind of embrace and embark this journey with the Fremen, who are these like soldiers, kind of like terrorists in kind of a way, and also kind of like part of the planet Arrakis. Like they're inside of like planet Arrakis. They live in the sand dunes. They have a bunch of like colonies and like hidden colonies inside of like the caves inside of Arrakis. So it starts out with Paul transporting the body of someone that he killed in the first movie near the end, and he has to hang out with a bunch of these Fremen. And throughout the whole movie, the second part is basically a heightened version of the first movie. But now, since you know everything about Paul and who he is and what he was before the House of Atreides has fallen, now you get to see Paul become the prophecy or the Messiah. And yeah, so basically you have this thing going on with Paul trying to grasp at the idea of him being the next Messiah in terms of leading his people or the Fremen. And this other side is more of like the political side, which is kind of like teased in like the first movie. But now you get to see more of like the stakes behind it. And basically the House of Harkonnens are really angry and pissed off that Paul is basically alive and just like hanging out with the Fremen and leading them to like peace and prosperity. So they're just like, you know what, man, like we're gonna like kill him, we're gonna like bomb the shit out of like fucking like we're gonna like destroy like everything, and no matter what they do, like we're gonna kill them. And just basically you have the political like aspect of this film, and you also have the religion aspect of the film, and both of these themes like intertwine and like clash between each other. And yeah, like that's partially what Dune Part 2 is. And if you haven't seen like the first part, you'll kind of know where it goes. But there's a lot of like surprises and stuff that happens in between the movie, which I don't really want to spoil because it was a revelation to me, even though I actually read the first book and the second book not too long ago. So like watching it in real time and seeing like a lot of the changes that Denis Villeneuve did, it made totally sense of what he was trying to do and how he's like changing things and making it more palatable to the audiences and mainstream audiences and just people in general who've read the book before or even watched like the David Lynch movie before. I also have to start by saying a lot of the performances in this are really, really, really damn good. So firstly, I gotta like start with my boy Timothée Chalamet. I said like in my written review that it might be his best performance since Call Me by Your Name, and after thinking about it for like a day since I saw this on a Sunday night, I think I definitely like agree with that, and like I still like vibe with it, even though I kind of want to see this movie again. I will be seeing this movie again. Like I'll be seeing it like 3 or 4 more times. But yeah, like here, like Timothée Chalamet, he does a lot of like great stuff in this. You have like a lot of like sides to like Paul Atreides. Like in the first movie, he's obviously like stoic and like trying to like learn the ways of Arrakis, but like also like he's very like intelligent, and he understands like everything, and it's probably because of like the prophecy that's like given to him by the Bene Gesserits. But then like in this movie, like the prophecy starts to like come real, and then that's where he becomes not like completely arrogant, but like you can see like him turning into a monster, well, little packets of like him becoming a monster. And that's like nearly in the, like the third act, where he finally does something that's like very villainous and might actually kind of turn off some of your perception with Paul from like the earlier couple scenes. But yeah, like even like after that, like Timothy Chalamet, like I think this is probably like one of his like best performances to date. And I've seen a lot of his movies. Like I'm a huge fan of his work. And like here, he's just really like bringing it like all together. And obviously you can say the same thing like for like the rest of the cast. Like I can't really say anything too much about like Zendaya. Like she's the love interest in this. She drives Paul into believing in the prophecy, but while also not believing in the prophecy because it's just a one-sided thing. Especially from like the religious Fremen who are really like into the prophecy, while you also have the other side where Chani is, where she's kind of like tiptoeing between it, but like also she doesn't believe in it. And then you also have Javier Bardem's character Stilgar, who is also a part of like the religious side of the Fremen. There's actually I think like two like sections of like the Fremen. I can't remember the direction because there's north and south, but I think it's like the north who are like really religious and like kind of like reformist, and then like the south are like more kind of like chill out, still believe in like the religion, but like they don't really know if the prophecy is true. And like Stilgar, there's a scene where like Paul does something like very kind of heroic, and immediately he's just like, yeah, this is like written, this is definitely written, like this is the prophecy. And he's just like hanging out with his bros, just like saying that to them. And then also Gurney, played by Josh Brolin, appears like halfway through the movie to reunite with Paul. And Gurney's just like, yo man, like you got like 200 men, like you can like pull up to like all these people and like kill them, bro. But like Paul's just like, nah, bro, like I don't want to do that. Like that would like disrupt like the whole order of like our plan and shit like that. Like Paul is like he's in lock and like he's in key, and he understands like the premise of a revolution. And yeah, basically the same thing applies to Rebecca Ferguson's character, Lady Jessica, who has a really kind of like warm but also kind of inspirational like storyline in this. And it starts out kind of like, oh no, like there's some like tension between Lady Jessica and Paul, but then like halfway through the movie it starts to kind of like accumulate more into like the religious and like ceremonial practices that the Bene Gesserits and the Harkonians and even the Fremen like do, and there's a lot of like clashing with that. And then Florence Pugh, who plays the princess, who realizes that Paul is alive and wants to find a way to take Paul out by actually installing a terrible and pretty much disgusting character who is played by Austin Butler, Freud or Feud. He's the Baron's youngest nephew, and he's like installed as the next successor of the planet Arrakis. And man, like Austin Butler's introduction in this is it's flames, like it's straight flames. Like this bro like literally goes out into like the gladiator stage, like beats some niggas up, and like fucking like he's just like on another level. And like Austin Butler, his role, like he doesn't like completely lose himself, and like also like the accent's different. Like he's not doing the Elvis accent, which is great because the Elvis accent was kind of like overbearing last year. But shit, man, like he's really great in this, and like he does a lot of like nasty stuff, and especially towards the end where you get to see Paul and Freud finally do like the big knife fight at the end, which is really really powerful and really breathtaking to watch. There's other characters that I can like name. Leia Sedu's character, Lady Margaret, is also a part of like the Bene Gesserits and a close friend to the Emperor and like the princess, and she's the one who puts Freud into like the pain box and tests him so he can like be a part of the next successor of Arrakis. And then there's another character which has been spoiled, but I don't want to like spoil it here in this video, but you can probably like look for it. That person just appears in visions. And then the Baron's also here, Stellan Skarsgård. He's basically doing the same what he did in the last movie, but here like he's more kind of losing it And the same sentiments can actually go to Dave Bautista's character, Glusu. This dude just he's at a point where he's just like he can't like catch a break, and one more wrong step and he'll like die. Like literally, like the Baron's just like, yeah, bro, like if you don't like catch like Paul Atreides, like we're gonna kill you, dog. And he's just like fleeing from like every like moment, every time he gets ambushed by the Fremen. But yeah, like that's basically all the characters in this movie, and the performances. Like I don't really have anything bad to say about the performances. Like I think this is the one where I'm just like, you know what, they're all giving it their A game, and yeah. And finally, I actually want to briefly mention Denis Villeneuve's direction in this. It's about the same as the first movie, but here like he's playing more with like the psychedelic imagery. Something's going on with Lady Jessica throughout the movie, and it kind of like intercuts between like the visions she's having and like Paul's visions of like the future. Stuff that like appeared earlier in the first movie reappears here. And I can't stress this enough that Denis Villeneuve, like he's toying between maximalism and minimalism, and it's where the maximalist stuff is basically the war stuff, like the action sequences where it opens up with like a Fremen ambush scene where the Fremen are ambushing the Harkonians, and they're like sniping them like in the sand dunes, like on top of the sand dunes, and bodies are falling everywhere, and they're trying to like get out of that situation. And then like you also have the minimalist stuff where you have a lot of like conversations with like the Fremen, and like political conversations and stuff that's like happening in between like those conversations. And a lot of it is exploratory or expository. But like there's other stuff that builds up like the characters, like Paul, like he's trying to like learn how to be like the Fremen. He asks questions about like what to do here. How do I like ride this like fucking like giant sand worm? And other like small like comedic moments are like interplayed in this movie also as well. And like a lot of that is more like not toned down, but like it's very like small. So you have like those aspects like very small, and then like the maximalist stuff being like the action sequences, and like it's all blended like so fucking well. And I think it's probably because like Denis Villeneuve is like really in tune with like the source material. You can tell like he's a really huge fan of this like work and this like material, but like also he's just like, man, like I want to like adapt this to like the masses, and I want to like make it palatable for everybody, so everybody can enjoy it, and like everybody can like still think about like what's happening with like the religious stuff and the political stuff. And yeah, like I think this is like by far his better directed film. I still think Arrival and Prisoners are like top tier like Villeneuve, but like here, like this is way better than like part one. And I've seen part one like a million times, so like I know which one is like better. But yeah, like I definitely think that Villeneuve has proven to be one of the best blockbuster directors of our time. He's very comparable to Christopher Nolan. You can totally see it when you watch it. And yeah, like especially with him hanging out with Christopher Nolan, you'll see like a lot of his like interactions with him, and he'll be like, yeah, like this is very telling of what I like about cinema. Like cinema is great. Like I have to like save it and all that. I have to like insert like a clip of Christopher Nolan and Denis just like hanging out and talking.
Hello, I'm Christopher Nolan, and he's not.
And I'm Denis Villeneuve.
But yeah, like it's really great. And if you didn't really like the first part, I don't know if you're gonna like the second part. Even though there's a lot of more stuff like happening, like with like the war stuff and the political stuff. But like also, if you didn't like this the first part, and you go into the second part and you still don't like it, then yeah, it's probably not gonna be for you. But yeah, like this was just, it was so great. And even with like the past like 2 months being like dead with Madam Web and fucking Argyle, like this was like peak. Like this is one of those movies like I'll be watching like over and over and over again. Like I'm definitely gonna get it on Blu-ray. I'm gonna be watching it like over and over and over again. And hopefully, I don't know, like I don't know if there's like an extended version of this. Even though Denis has said like he's never gonna like drop a extended version of his movies, but I'm calling Cap. And if he does in the next few years, like I'll be watching those too. But yeah, like you probably already know it's a 5 out of 5. First best movie of the year. It clears. I don't know if this is going to stay in my top 10 because I don't know how this year is going to go. But yeah, like this is going to stay in my number 1 for a really long time. So quick Oscar talk. Yeah, so I think this is going to like repeat from the last time Dune was nominated. It got all of the technicals, obviously cinematography, sound, and score. But I think also this is a really good chance for Denis to finally get his Best Director nomination. He missed out last time, which was kind of a big, egregious snub. But here, I think the narrative is going to be riding high all the way till next year. And it's crazy because right now we're 2 weeks behind the Oscars, where Oppenheimer's going to sweep everywhere. And I think this is going to be one that will be stuck on people's minds for the rest of the year. And it's going to be annoying, but I'm going to be one of those people who are going to annoy people about this movie in terms of awards, and I will be happy when it wins everything. I don't know about Best Picture though, but it will get nominated for Best Picture, but I don't know if it's going to win because we don't know any of like the other contenders this year. But yeah, like this is definitely going to like sweep the technicals. I don't know anything else. I don't want to see anything else that's contending for like the technical stuff. Like it's done, it's wrapped up. But that's just me. Now I would like to mention that I don't know if this could really like hit hard with any of the above the line categories in terms of acting. I would love to see Timothée Chalamet get nominated for Best Actor in this, but then yet again, a lot of genre movies lately have been kind of risen up with in terms of awards. You know, we've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once like sweep with like the acting categories. Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress. So if this kind of movie continues to be in the conversation for months on end, yeah, I can definitely see it being top priority in terms of best acting. But like I would love to see Timothée Chalamet here. I would also love to see Javier Bardem in Best Supporting Actor because his role in this is actually pretty damn good and he has a lot of stuff to do. He's still like in the movie a lot. He's more of like a presence in it, kind of like a side character, but like also he guides Paul into the prophecy, and he has a lot of like comedic moments in here. And I would also say Austin Butler also as well, but he shows up like in 90 minutes of the movie, like 90 minutes into the movie, but like his presence also as well is very looming and villainous and evil. But yeah, like I think those two or three are the ones that I can like definitely see being nominated. Yeah, and Rebecca Ferguson also as well. Like her role in this was more expanded, and she has a lot of emotional moments in this as well. But yeah, like in terms of awards right now, too damn early, but I can see it being completely swept up in the tech categories and hopefully in Best Director and the Best Acting categories. But yeah, that's just me. We'll see in next year. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like, subscribe, check out my older videos. I'm going to be doing my final Oscar predictions, which will be taking place probably this week or the week before the Oscars. It shouldn't take too long. I might also compare like the last video or the video I did way back and kind of like make fun of it because a lot of it's outdated. But yeah, that's basically it. Hope you guys, peace out.